Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Haziq Zikri bin Baharudin. I'm from MBA 113A. My matrix number is 2020293988. Today, I'm gonna present about chapter 2, identifying competitive advantage. So, first of all, to survive and thrive, an organization must create a competitive advantage. What is a competitive advantage? It's a product or service that an organization customer place a greater value on than similar offering from a competitor. Unfortunately, competitive advantage are typically temporary because competitors often seek ways to duplicate the competitive advantage. When an organization is the first to market with a competitive advantage, it gains a first mover advantage. The first mover advantage occurs when an organization can significantly impact its market share by being first to market with a competitive advantage. For example, FedEx created a first mover advantage several years ago when it developed its customer self-service software, allowing people and organizations request a package pickup, print mailing slips, and track package online. Other parcel delivery service quickly followed with their own version of the software. Today, customer self-service on the internet is a standard for doing business in the parcel delivery industry. Organizations watch their competition through environmental scanning. Environmental scanning is a acquisition and analysis of events and trends in the environment external to an organization. For example, Frito-Lay, a premier provider of snack foods such as Cracker Jacks, Cheetos, does not just send its representatives into grocery stores to stock shelves. They carry handheld computers and record the product offerings, inventory, and even product location of competitors. Frito-Lay uses this information to gain business intelligence on everything from how well competing products are selling to the strategic placement of its own products. When we learn about this topic, we have to know the three common tools used in industry to analyze and develop competitive advantage. The first one is Porter's 5-force model. It used for evaluating business segment. The second one is Porter's 3 generic strategies, and it's for creating a business focus. And the last one is value chains, and it's targeting business processes. Organizations frequently face a decision as to whether to enter new industry or industry segment. Michael Porter 5-force model is a useful tool to aid in this decision. The 5-force model helps determine the relative attractiveness of an industry and includes the following 5 forces. The first one is buyer power. Buyer power high when buyers have many choices of whom to buy from and low when their choices are few. There are two ways to reduce buyer power is through loyalty programs and switching costs. Loyalty program is reward customer based on the amount of business they do with a particular organization, while switching costs is a cost that can make customer reluctant to switch to another product or service. The second is supplier power. Supplier power high when buyers have a few choices of whom to buy from and low when their choices are many. Supply chain consists of all parties involved in the procurement of a product or raw material. Organizations that are buying goods and services in the supply chain can create a competitive advantage by locating alternative supply sources, decreasing supplier power through B2B marketplace. B2B is a business-to-business marketplace. It's an internet-based service that brings together many buyers and sellers. There are two types of business-to-business marketplace. The first one is private exchange. It's a single buyer posts its needs and then open the bidding to any supplier who care to bid. The second one is reverse auction. It's an auction format in which increasingly lower bids are solicited from organizations willing to supply the desired product or service at an increasingly lower price. The third one, the third 5 force is threat of substitute product or services. It's high when there are many alternatives to a product or service, and low when there are few alternatives from which to choose. There are one more point, that is switching cost. It's a cost that can make customers reluctant to switch to another product or service. For example, travelers have many numerous substitutes for airline. The fourth by force is threat of new entrant. It's high when it is easy for new competitors to enter a market, and low when there are significant entry barriers to entering a market. Entry barrier, a product or service feature that customers have come to expect from organization in a particular industry, and must be offered by entering organization to compete and survive. The last five porter, the last five force is rivalry among existing competitors. It's high when competition is fierce in a market, and low when competition is more complacent. Although competition is always more intense in some industries than in others, the overall trend is toward increased competition in just about every industry. The second one is organization typically follow one of the three generic strategies when entering a new market. The first one is broad cost leadership. Broad strategies reach a large market segment. Cost leadership marketing strategy used to penetrate the industry by using the low cost and reach a broad market segment. The second one is broad differentiation. Its focused strategies target a niche market. Differentiation strategy means development of such product and a service which offer unique attributes that are valued by customer. This strategy focuses on the broad market segment by using the high cost. The third one is focus strategy. Focus strategy is to concentrate on either cost leadership or differentiation. The focus strategy involves focusing on a narrow, defined segment of the market, also called a niche segment. Focus strategy concentrates on either cost leadership or differentiation. Last but not least, once an organization chooses its strategy, it can use tools such as the value chain to determine the success or failure of its chosen strategy. A business process is a standardized set of activities that accomplish a specific task, such as processing a customer order. To evaluate the effectiveness of its business processes, an organization can use Michael Porter value chain approach. An organization creates values by performing a series of activities that Porter identified as the value chain. The value chain approach views as an organization as a series of processes, each of which adds value to the product or service for each customer. The goal of value chain analysis is to identifying processes in which the firm can add value for the customer and create a competitive advantage for itself with a cost advantage or product differentiation. The value chain groups a firm activities into two categories. The first one is primary value activities and support value activities. So, in primary value activities, there are 5 types. The first one is receive and store raw materials, make product or service, deliver the product or service, market and sell the product or service after the sale. For support value activities has a 4. The first one is firm infrastructure. The second one, human resource management, technology development and R&D, and lastly is procurement. Thank you for watching this infographic. That's all from me. Thank you.